We're live, Mr. Wade. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, good night to our Belizean people, both at home and abroad. For those who watch us, tune in to us, and support us, welcome. We are like 5 minutes late, but again, better late than never. And as always, we start our program with a prayer. But again, welcome to our 224th edition of Belizean Affairs Show. 224. So good night, pleasant good night to one and all. Hopefully that tonight's program, will take away something from it and little information, and see how we can help, because we are about people and nation, So on that note, we start with a prayer, and I'll ask Mr. Leonard Brackett, next co-host, and our chairman for tonight is Mr. Gregory Brackett, but he is not around at this moment. But he should probably in the background queuing up. I'll ask Leonard to lead us in a prayer.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Wade. Divine, loving Father, once again we come before thy presence, asking that thou would accept our humble expression of gratitude, first of all, for the privilege of life, and secondly, for the opportunity to still be alive today among our family members, friends, and loved ones. We pray that thou mayest continue to bless our country of Belize, its people and leadership. We pray that thou mayest bless the United States, its people and leadership. That thou would also bless the rest of humanity, especially those people who are in harm's way and are being hurt for no justifiable reason sometimes. We pray that thou mayest have mercy upon them, especially those who are being killed. Have mercy upon their soul, we pray, loving Father. We pray that thou mayest grant us the privilege to have a good and successful program tonight, that we be able to bring to the table some positive public benefit to our Belizeans at home and abroad. Please continue to be with us now and always. For we ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen. Back to you, Mr. Wade.
Thank you, Leonard, for that warm prayer,
You're welcome, sir.
which is always uplifting. Um, have a little disturbance in the back, but I will
That's all right, sir.
I will do a reading, Leonard, from Deuteronomy, chapter 28, 1 to 10. It reads, "And if you faithfully obey the voice of the Lord your God, being careful to do all his commandments that I commanded you today, the Lord your God, I will set you high above all the nation of the earth, and and all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you, if you obey the voice of the Lord your God. Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the field. Blessed shall you be the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your cattle, and the increase of your herd, and the young of your flock. Blessed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed shall you be when you come in. Blessed shall you be when you go out.
Amen.
The Lord will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated before you.
Amen.
They shall come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways.
Amen.
The Lord shall command the blessing on you in your barns and in all that you undertake, and he will bless you in the land that the Lord your God is giving you.
Amen.
The Lord will establish you as a people holy to himself, as he has sworn to you, if you keep the commandments of the Lord your God and walk in his ways. And all the people of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of you. That's my reading from Deuteronomy chapter 28, 1 to 10. Uh, Leonard, there's a lot going on. I always, do a sober reminder that, we are still in the hurricane season, seems like, because there is a disturbance down same place that this one that passes the storm, but the weather says that it will bring only rain, but no wind and flooding. So we should be on the lookout for more rain in the days to come. So for those that are still experiencing flooding, Leonard, because along the Belize River Valley, my brother, our people are experiencing some rough times in regards to the flooding. They're losing their livestock. Their farms are being flooded out along the riverbanks. There are some of them, their homes are being flooded out. And it's so sad that, they are not getting the help that they should be getting, right? So, um, I guess the the government and Nemo, they're probably hurdling in a little corner and trying to figure out how much money they can get from the taxpayers. They're probably waiting for donation, as always, grants and gifts, as always, which is a shame. It's a shame and a travesty. These are things that a government, any responsible government, should have in place in terms of emergency, disaster, right? But we are waiting. I'm pretty sure that they will come with a number again for the taxpayers to give them some money. In the meantime, they are waiting again for some aid, some grants from other entities, from other parts of the world, like the US. Um, and that time that they are waiting, people are suffering, Leonard, right? Um, I watched couple of the media houses, their news, that the farmers are harvesting their cattle out of the river, out of the flood, drowned with swollen bellies and up, and they're harvesting their cattle out of the river, right? So if that's not enough to declare a state of emergency in the entire river valley, all those villages along the river valley, I don't see what they're waiting for, right? State of emergency along the river valley. The man Briseño, right after the storm passed, he went to his village. Trial Farm, I think, is one of his little village in the constituency there, I
And
think,
declared an
and
emergency.
declare it that village a state of emergency. What's a double standard? That's a double standard.
So he
While you
can
have
get
other people suffering.
some money out of the treasury to further his political prospects for the upcoming
Exactly.
election. But he doesn't want to
Exactly.
do the same for the other people in those areas in the River Valley.
Because why, Leonard? He does not
Belize,
run in that
Belize Rural
river valley.
Central, Belize Rural Central,
Be
Belize
real,
Rural North.
exactly. So he right away he declared a state of emergency for him for his constituency where his people will vote for him because they say yeah okay viva PUP and the man minister bring me some goodies and I help we out and thing so we vote for him right away.
But he
But what
didn't declare
happened?
an emergency in Cairo either, just the other day when he had
No,
all
no,
those
no. Up in the
big
West
floods back
here, there
there.
is no state of emergency either, Leonard. Right? Like I tell you, what I see happen here right after the and this is for public consumption. What happened after the storm? The man Balona, who is the area representative for Cairo Central, was walking around Cairo Central, right, and assessing damage. But what he did, and like I said it before, he put in 3 driveways for PUP supporter. 3 driveways, right? And that was it, right? So I just hope that the people around seeing again the carnage of the political stupidness.
Is that it?
UDP, PUP, same thing when times of a disaster, Leonard, they only serve their very own little couple people, and the rest of people, they do not see them,
Mr.
right?
Chairman,
Yes.
can I make a comment quickly on
Go
what
ahead, go
you
ahead,
said
Leonard.
about Mr. The gentleman
Balona,
talking
Balona, that's his
Balona?
name. That's the representative
Does,
for
does,
Ohio
does,
Central.
is it? Are we to believe that he thinks that those 3 people are going to be the people that's going to elect him?
Seems like,
He only
Leonard.
need those 3 people. He doesn't need anybody else.
Yeah,
He doesn't need. He have enough UP. He doesn't need any other UDP or any independent. He need nobody else to help with getting him elected. Is he a real politician, or does he just cater for his cronies alone?
and
Because a real politician is always trying to get voters from the other side.
exactly. Do right, man, Leonard. Do right.
Yes, sir.
Not is not
Thank you.
the flooding is not only at those 2 homes. In fact, he didn't address the drainage system, Leonard. He didn't even address. He put in driveways. For those who understand what a driveway is, they put a they put a block pipe, a big pipe, like about 14 or 18 inches wide, and maybe 14 feet long,
Mm-hmm.
and they dig a trench. They lay that in and throw some 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 backfilling over that so that that homeowner could come off the public street into his private property. That's
Mm-hmm.
what is called a driveway here
Mm-hmm.
in this country. And he did 3 of those. But he did not address the drainage system, Leonard and my people. So what is wrong with that picture? So he just kicked the ball down. He did like what the UDP did the last time. They did the same thing, and he just waiting for another disaster or another flood, and they do the same thing again, right? No kind of these people think like crabs, right? You see how crabs walk back way. This is
Mm-hmm.
the way these people think, right? But what? Thousands of taxpayers' dollars, Leonard, didn't come out the pocket of Johnny Briseño, did not come out the pocket of the UDP back then, did not come out of the PUP pocket this time either, or the Balona guy. Taxpayers' money, taxpayers' equipment, taxpayers' everything, right? But yet you hear some of them, Leonard, oh, my minister, they work, Leonard. You hear them with the phrase, my minister, they work, right? That's what the hell you paying them for. What you think you pay them for, right? You pay them to work for you, right? But the Belizean people have it back way. You should work for them. No. So that notion, oh, my minister, they work. And I know that's what you're paying them for, and it's not their money,
But
right?
Mr. Wade,
They must get out of
Mr.
that
Chairman,
mindset.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
these people fail to understand the difference between party politics and governance powers. In party
They
politics,
got it all.
you fix up all your cronies and your brothers, sisters, uncle, cousins, aunts, and whoever
That's
else
party
not.
politics. Yeah.
But in governance, you try to manage in such a way as the Constitution requires and demands that the assets of the country is distributed in such a way as to not marginalize and or to not discriminate against anyone and or according to section 6 of the Constitution we are all equal under the law.
All equal. They don't see that, Leonard.
So they're supposed to manage governance affairs and make sure that everybody is catered to because they're the government. They're not just a political party anymore. They ask to be the government, and as the government, they're supposed to service all of us. I yield back, sir.
You're so right, Leonard. You're so right. And we talk about this more than one occasion, right? You, you know, like you said, they have a problem with governance and party politics. That's two different things, right? So you want to tell me Johnny Briseño is not, you know, governing? He's playing party politics when he only declare his area there a state of emergency. That's party
100% correct.
politics. And with
100%
the
correct, sir.
taxpayers' money, right? Governance mean in a whole, you govern the entire nation,
I see
the
our regular,
country.
Mr. Wade, I see our regular chairman in the background.
Okay, oh yeah,
He's
okay.
able to bring himself on, so I guess he's not ready to come on yet. He's
Well,
probably working on
yeah.
something else,
Well,
So,
like I say,
well,
we
just
expect
go
the
ahead, sir.
chairman to
That's right. Just
you
go ahead.
know.
Sorry
But
for
that's
interrupting you just now. Just go ahead, sir.
yeah, Leonard. But we talk about these things, right? And we talk about where the fairness. I mean, when these things are going to stop, right? I mean, these things are playing out, right? We see in times of disaster, they run with a little package of food when UDP they in to a UDP couple UDP. Then pass my home here and go to the UDP, two, three UDP houses on the street, right? And deliver their little $20 package or whatever, or rice, beans, and whatever they care for them people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing the PUP do, right? Then pass here and go to the couple PUP and get in a leave, then leave grocery bag
But Mr.
and
Wade,
that's it,
they do
right?
that with your tax money,
And
not
it's
their
our
own
taxpayer
personal money.
dollars, right? These things got to stop, Leonard. I mean, like I'm saying, when how much is enough, man? Right? I think, like I always say, not only UDP pay taxes, not only PUP pay taxes. Everybody pay taxes. So why not help everybody? And that word, Leonard, you hear them with that word, they help everybody. In the house, in
Uh-huh.
the house they go up onto the nation and the world. Oh yeah, we help everybody and everybody for win, right? They're helping everybody, which is a darn lie, right? They need to stop that, man, right? Because we know that that's not true, right? There are only certain people that get the help in this country, and just they happen, these things they happen for decades now, right? Where
Um,
they
Mr. Wade, I recall, sorry, sir, I recall
go
the
ahead.
last time Mr. Brackett, the chairman for tonight, had mentioned that he was getting his system buffered, and that's why he wasn't trying to come on that particular night. I wonder if he may be having a little problem, and then therefore maybe
Yeah, it could
I should
be.
just maybe try to bring him on.
Try and bring him on. Yeah, go
Let's see
ahead.
if maybe that might help a little. Good night, Greg. Greg,
Good night, gentlemen.
I saw you in the
Good night
background,
to people
and
at home.
I just remembered that
I want
you
to
had
thank
mentioned.
you for
So,
tuning in to this 224th episode of Belizean Affair. I want to thank you guys for sitting with me virtually, and you're always highly appreciated. Gentlemen, I have heard your comments, and I want to
Yeah.
say this. I have said it on more than one occasion. that we are living in a designer system designed to continue to keep the local people down in poverty. That is a proven fact. I also want to re-stipulate that we are dealing with government past and present who is failing and has failed at external policies and internal policies. I want to start the show tonight and I want to go to a video. I,
You freeze up
and
there, Greg.
young ladies do that join.
Greg, could you repeat just what you said just now because
So
it was frozen and we didn't get what you were saying.
Yeah, we freeze up just now, Greg. We didn't hear you just now.
thank you. As I said, I want to go to a video and I'm highly appreciative to these young men and young women who take their time to serve their country. And the reason why I'm saying this is because even though and we have a BDS failure in our external policy when it comes to the cartoon here. And I believe that and they are doing. So first, let me go to the video.
He
Something is wrong with his.
Gentlemen, I guess I will be getting more upset tonight. So please bear with me, but let me go to the video.
Yes, sir.
After breaking ground in March 2023, the ribbon was cut today at the inauguration of the Coast Guard station at the Big Creek port. This station means that the Coast Guard will be permanently present at a crucial area. And after 19 years, the Coast Guard's presence has spread to include all of Belize's maritime space.
Drug trafficking in the Gulf of Honduras has rapidly increased since the start of this year, with Honduras seizing 5 tons of cocaine and Guatemala seizing 5.2 tons of cocaine. Mexico, our neighbor to the north, seized 3 tons of.
Let me replay this video.
After breaking ground in March 2023, the ribbon was cut today at the inauguration of the Coast Guard station at the Big Creek port. This station means that the Coast Guard will be permanently present at a crucial area. And after 19 years, the Coast Guard's presence has spread to include all of Belize's maritime space.
Drug trafficking in the Gulf of Honduras has rapidly increased since the start of this year, with Honduras seizing 5 tons of cocaine and Guatemala seizing 5.2 tons of cocaine. Mexico, our neighbor to the north, seized 3 tons of cocaine since the start of this year. And these statistics are all maritime seizures. Today I can proudly report that the Coast Guard is strategically forward deployed on every atoll and within all our marine reserves in this country, covering almost every single channel within the inner reef, providing governance to our sea spaces.
The base itself has dorm rooms.
Good night, people at home, my brother. I play that video because I want you to really look at it.
breaking up there, Greg. Breaking up there, Greg. Yeah, he froze up there, Leonard. You want to,
Yes, sir.
yeah, take over?
Uh, let me see what's going on. I will not remove him though. Let him come back on when he's ready. In the meantime, we can uh, maybe
On what he was showing just now.
I think he's trying to do it himself. So on what he showed just now, maybe you might have a small comment while he's working out behind the scene.
Yes. Uh, the the situation with the forward operating base, it's a very good um a base out there. Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead, continue with the.
The forward operating base is not a bad idea, Mr. Weir, but I think our government could have done more to help when it comes to defending our country. Failure after failure in external policies. We have that within the BDS, failing at the Sarsoon base, where we have Guatemalans constantly intruding into our territory. But the reason why I went to the Cape is because I wanted the people at home and abroad to hear what the gentleman from the Coast Guard had to say. And I want to go back and see if this tape will play it. And then after it does, I will go to you first, Mr. Williams.
After breaking ground in March 2023, the ribbon was cut today at the inauguration of the Coast Guard station at the Big Creek port. This station means that the Coast Guard will be permanently present at a crucial area. And after 19 years, the Coast Guard's presence has spread to include all of Belize's maritime space.
Drug trafficking in the Gulf of Honduras has rapidly increased since the start of this year, with Honduras seizing 5 tons of cocaine and Guatemala seizing 5.2 tons of cocaine. Mexico, our neighbor to the north, seized 3 tons of cocaine since the start of this year. And these statistics are all maritime seizures. Today, I can proudly report that the Coast Guard is strategically forward deployed on every atoll and within all our marine reserves in this country, covering almost every single channel within the inner reef, providing governance to our sea spaces.
The base itself has dorm rooms, a kitchen stocked with groceries, and offices for the officers to carry out their duties. And after inspecting the guard, the area rep, Rhoda Ferguson, recalled the time before the inception of the Coast Guard.
Now, people at home and abroad, and gentlemen sitting with me, you heard what the gentleman said from the Coast Guard about drugs. But when we listen to that, I personally want to ask the question, shouldn't our BDS should be the one dealing with these drug claims? Also, let's train for mountainous region and to protect our border in case of a war. So, why is it the police is always the one, even though the police is complicit? I go to you first, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have several things going on, right? Yes, it's all good that he threw all his numbers at the good work that the Coast Guard is doing. Um, but he failed to say how much influence the U.S. have in the Coast Guard, seizing these drugs that he says that they seize, right? Um, that's nothing new in terms of drug trafficking, nothing new. But what is new and very disturbing is the atrocities that the Guatemalan armed forces is doing, right? The blatant disrespect to our nation and our security forces and to the government in a whole, right? Like, yeah, see what I could do and what I could move for you flag and I even carry it to Guatemala and I will deliver it whenever I get ready to deliver it. And these little puppets here now, they have all kind of little excuse. Oh yeah, well they deliver the flag to the embassy in Guatemala and this and that and all little puppets, right?
We should not have had to be in the first place.
So I say this to say that you hear that one aspect there, but what happened to the more crucial aspect of our security, national, internal, and external security? What happened to that? You see the aggression by the Guatemalan over and over. You see the way the Guatemalans and all the other coast countries invade Belize in terms of the fishing industry, the gill nets, the all the goodies they come and take out of space, our space, and they go away with it. And what they do, they end up penalizing the poor little fisherman. Then the one may get penalized, right? While the bulk of our marine products, our food,
It's being
just
depleted.
go away, right? When they catch them, they do catch them. They give them a slap on the wrist and they left with the item. Slap on the wrist and they go and they left with their item. And it's a repetitious cycle. What I'm saying is that you hear about drugs from that commander there. Just drugs. When they stop reporting plane landing here for a couple of years now, you don't hear nothing more about plane landing. So is that what the US want to hear? That yeah, all the boats that we're giving you guys and all the money we're spending on the Coast Guard. Thank you for 5 ton of cocaine and five. In fact, where are these cocaine? Where is this
Mr.
five
Wade,
ton plus cocaine?
Mr. Wade,
Where it is?
this year the
Go
U.S.
ahead, Len. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Sorry. No, no, no. I wasn't trying to take away your thunder.
No,
I
no,
was
no,
just
no.
trying
Go
to add
ahead.
to it. I was
Uh-huh.
saying that this year the U.S. classified Belize as a narco state. Does anybody understand what that means? Does anyone understand what it means that the U.S. classified Belize as a narco state? It's even worse than when they classified Mr. Saldiva as a persona non grata.
That's worse. Yeah.
The whole damn country is
But
under. But anyhow, I just want us to
thank,
put that
thank
on
you,
what you were
Mr.
saying
Reed.
just now, Mr. Wade.
Thank you for your perspective, Mr. Brackett.
You're
But
welcome, Mr.
the
Chairman.
question still remains: why would you send the fox to guard the hen house when the hens are constantly showing up missing? Why is the police still the main ones that go when these planes land and they never can find nothing except the empty plane or the burned plane? Except for the one time when that plane had landed. If you have police officers or the police force and a whole that is complicit in this situation, why not let our military, as in the BDF, do it as our Coast Guard is doing it? Because I can recall, I believe, when the helicopter went down and the BDF was the one to reach there first, they were told by the police to stand up. So now the question remains the same. why isn't the BDF, who is trained from mountainous region,
Mr. Chairman,
the number one force defending against these drug planes that are landing? I go to you, Mr. Brackett.
as regards to the point you raised just now when you said when the BDF was told to stand off by the police special units, the police have some special units that were supposed to be running around the whole country with special powers authorized to them to override any commander in any section of the country, and for them to have freewheeling capabilities to interject themselves into just about any activities that has to do with drugs or any other activity for that matter of fact. Do we forget the issue of Mr. Vidal's commander status as the assistant commissioner and the free powers that were allotted to him to override any of the other commanders in any districts? That is the power that we're talking about. Mr. Vidal was not a member of the BDF, or was not classified as a member of the BDF. His classification was as a what was the commissioner, like a deputy commissioner or assistant commissioner. Okay? And therefore he was working along with the DEA and other foreign entities to try and thwart the drugs. But a lot of information that was provided to the police was provided to other third parties. So what you are pointing out, which is obvious, that the people that have the military equipment and capacity or capability should have been authorized to help defend our borders. That's what your military is for. But when you have a special police unit, the run was shot over the rest of the other police and the rest of the other military people in the country and telling them to stand down. That's when you end up with these kind of scenarios. To the point now where, like I just said, the U.S. has classified Belize this year as a narco state. How did we arrive there? To be classified as a narco state, it means that your government and your country and its people are facilitators of narcotics. Big time. Your state, they don't say me, Leonard, Brackett, or whoever other personal name what they want to call, where they want to think that Mary might be involved in something or not involved or whatever. The U.S. is not saying one person is classified by virtue of their long arm activities because they know what the hell is going on. They got people inside of these organizations that are serving dual purposes. So they know what's happening. They got long ears, they got long arms, and they got long memory. So why should our country be classified as a narco state? How positive is that for us as a country? What good does it do for us as a country? Why does our country have to be classified as a narco state? I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Brackett. Well, you said the answer to the same question you asked yourself. I can tell you that. Why are we classified as an narco state? If you recall, when we had the tropical storm, how the BPOs showed up as essential services everybody wants to know how, but still when it was Thanksgiving, they were closed. And all the Belizean
facilitating
workers who
by
worked for
powers to
them
be.
were sent home. So no one was paid for that day from the essential service, so classified by the Belizean government. Then here we go.
By the
We are
Belizean
talking
rogue
about being
government,
classified
Mr. Chairman, by the Belizean rogue government to be,
executive
or, or was I mishearing, or am I
executive
intimating
power is what is
incorrectly?
happening. No separation. There is no separation of powers. But to answer your question, as I said, you call when the young man from Lima was posted on Jews and he asked him by whose idea was the BPO listed as essential service. I want to go to this here
He knew
and I
the
want you
gentleman knew
to
the
be
answer,
the
but he refused to
governor of
provide it.
the central bank. Here we have another one who refused to answer. And just imagine, he is the governor of the central bank, I believe. And I want
He's
you
not
to listen
elected,
to
so
this.
therefore you think that he's
Because
not
here
elected,
we
Mr.
have the
Chairman.
Coast Guard.
None of the one them that have powers that are not elected seem that they have any accountability to us, to speak to us, or to tell us what the facts are. But when they're ready, if you come and try lie to us and bamboozle to us and tell us about, oh, the economy is this great, the economy is all right, and we could go ahead and change for we people them on the money, or we could do whatever we want with free money because our economy is vibrant, our economy is self-sustaining, and we're begging with a tin can in our hand all over the world for assistance. Who are we trying to impress? Are we just trying to bamboozle local Belizeans to believe that our economy is self-sustaining and our dollar is not going to get devaluated when they start play with the money? If our dollar gets devaluated at 4 for 1, that means that some people are 1/2 of what they currently want. That means that if you had $1 if you go buy one noodle, no, you can't buy that noodle because you only have 50 cents. And now
But
with the inflation going on, it won't be double worse
right,
for
but
the
the
US.
elites are working. Nobody could have said it better than when Mr. Gig sit in the Senate hearing and said that there are 3 or 4 members of the government who is acting as a separate government.
As a cabal,
Okay,
a cabal of
but
mobsters under the guise of a
but
legitimately elected government.
to what you said just now, we had a young man from Nemo, and now here we go. This is the governor of the central bank. Listen,
How does the bank treat with this? We know successive administrations have held this tobacco is legal in Belize, but we know also that it is exported illicitly to multiple countries in the region, Central America and Mexico, and thus the proceeds are not, they do not perhaps meet optimal standards for banking. The transactions, anecdotally, are in cash because of the nature of the trade. But it's a huge part of our exports and a huge part of our imports. How does it show up? How is it metered in the national statistics?
As far as the trade, if it's legal, we will see it. If it's official trade, we will see it in the numbers. If it's unofficial through these maybe less than formal ports, then obviously we won't see it. It is like somebody walking across the border with a head of cattle. You don't see that all the time. So similarly, if it crosses a official border point, we'll pick it up because it has to be recorded. Or I hope it is. And if it's not, then I really can't say anything else about it.
Is it your opinion that the proceeds of these sales are banked?
Like I said, I can't see it. We're not seeing it in the numbers, and if they are, then we have to look, investigate more.
Gentlemen, here we go again. And I
Mr.
can
Chairman,
go to our next one.
Mr.
The
Chairman,
contraband gas that was coming across the border
one at a
that
time,
they
Mr.
gave
Chairman.
a permit to the guy.
Yes, but Mr. Chairman, one
Go
at a
ahead,
time. Give me
Mr.
a chance to
Brackett.
lash this one, man. How this good gentleman can claim to be the central bank governor, who is supposed to be on top of these type of statistical anomalies? I call it anomalies, okay? Because as he himself acknowledged, if the stuff is being done illegally or inappropriately, then it won't show up in their statistics, which is what's happening all the time. And when I keep repeating this, people say that all I do is criticize. You have to criticize these guys and let them know that people watching them and know what the hell they're doing and not doing, for them to take shame and try a little harder. But the bottom line is that they don't want to answer the questions, even when the questions are legitimate. Because for them to answer the question means that they will be snitching on somebody higher up than themselves, or somebody who has the power to tell them or to control them in not being answerable to nobody else. We have these people, the central bank governor, the senators then, and also ministers of state in various departments. And then we have all kind of individuals acting in the capacity and with the powers of state behind them, acting presumably on our behalf, but refusing to communicate with us and answer the question when the questions are asked by the reporters. The reporters have a right and a responsibility and a duty to ask the questions, whether the questions are tough or easy. It is not for these individuals to collect a salary from us, to do our work and turn around and show no accountability to us. They only collect money from being senators of government business, as the unelected one is, as well as also a Senator, Mr. Koi, and also Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance. And then both of those idiots are going to gang up together, go to the Senate and tell the Senate, kiss my ass, and walk out. And then come back again as a law firm Koi and what's his name? Courtney and Koi law firm coming to the Belize City Council and telling them that within a few hours' time, if they don't pay one of their clients, that they again will turn around and make money out of the Belize City Council pocket by suing Belize City. All these rascals do is find where money is shaking and rattling and go try to get their fingers dipped in it. If they want to be lawyers, and adequate lawyers, because they are adequate lawyers, by the way, stay their ass in the legal profession and do their job, and stop tampering and meddling in government affairs and suborn government affairs to their own wealth creation. And then turn around and pretend like, well, they are not accountable to us and they could just tell the Senate, go to hell. They display a contempt, and I would call it rather just a contempt. They display criminal contempt because they're a bunch
Mr.
of
Brackett,
criminals as far as I'm
if I
concerned.
may.
You're welcome.
Mr. Brackett, if I
I yield
may.
back, sir.
He's the governor of Central Bank, and he cannot answer the question. It means he's not doing his job. Because how can you go and take away position of a private entity as in the credit union It means you have to be searching to see what wrong they are doing. So how can you not do your work and look to see how these things are coming into the country and passing out? You don't have no knowledge of it when you are the governor. So
Mr.
that
Chairman,
means that Belize is
Mr.
using
Chairman,
millions in tax
make a knock the nail
and
on the
you
head.
don't know.
Allow me to knock the nail on the head, sir. That gentleman as the central
Go
bank
ahead,
governor,
sir.
that gentleman as the central bank governor is pretending not to know and understand what the hell the question was about, and not being in a position then to be able to answer the question, when in fact he should be able to answer the question the best way he can. And the best way he can answer that question is to say that there are many individuals and organizations who are running illegal business transactions, such as cattle, which the Prime Minister acknowledged and the Minister of Agriculture acknowledged is being contraband. And who are two of the biggest contraband, or who are two of the biggest cattle ranchers in Belize? Who is known to have been contrabanding long before the question was being asked recently? Not only just the Mennonite gentleman from Cayo,
You have the
some of the
Britannians
biggest,
and you have Mr. Mike.
exactly, and others, by the way. I'm referring to those two just now in my particular statement because they are government officials. And it should be a shame for them to be playing that kind of shenanigan with our system, allowing themselves to be doing contraband export and import, and not paying their taxes and getting all kind of benefits through that kind of negotiation and that kind of dealings. And then now come and make laws to facilitate themselves being able to break what was previously laws. So now they're legitimizing their misconduct
Mr.
and
Brackett,
giving themselves a slap on the
if
wrist
I
to
may,
say, go ahead, sir, go ahead.
let me help
I'm
you
being
here.
specific when I make those statements, okay? Because
Right, but let me help
that's
you
public
here
domain
because
information we're
there's
talking
a
about.
pattern. There is a pattern, sir. It seems to me that everyone in these positions has been told by the government not to answer to any question as
That
the
embarrasses the government
stalwart
and
they have
government
did
officials.
in the Senate hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time I ask them, it's the same methods they are using not to answer questions as in the Senate hearing.
And when I say that they are acting like a bunch, like a cabal of mobsters, people think that, oh, these guys are not out there running around shooting people and killing people and acting like the mobsters that they see in movies. They don't understand that the term mobster include conduct, behavior, unbecoming public officials at the highest level, committing treason against our country. Okay? But some people don't like to hear that
Thank
kind
you,
of
Mr.
talking.
Brackett. Mr. Wade,
You're
I
welcome,
go
sir.
to you. But first, let me say this. Tonight, I look at the news tonight, Mr. Wade, and as we said here on Belizean Affairs, we show and tell. And tonight, I have a surprise for the people at home and abroad. But before I do that, let me go to you, Mr. Wade, to pass your comment on what we just spoke about. The stalwaling that these people are doing not to answer questions, is necessary, and know every time it has to do with anything that they are caught with, this is what we find. Go ahead, sir.
So right on that, Mr. Chairman. I listened to that guy. Like you say, they all have their assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Now you want to tell me that you have two free zones, the north and the west.
Mm-hmm.
That it's the first time these things are happening. Hell no. On every given day you go to this free zone, there is a contraband, there's a illicit activities. You know, from the police to the custom to the everybody is in on it. Immigration.
all over the
You
country.
want to tell me, Mr. Chairman, my people, that this amount of cigarette will pass through the western border without nobody know? Huh? Just unfortunate, guys. They get caught, right? So you got to look at it. The question asked by Jules, the man played dumb. He went holy roll now. Well, we can't deal with that. We because the information not come that we in terms of money. We know the register. So he no can't answer. So you have to listen to them fool there, right? Fool the talk. Don't fool the listener all the time. So wow, it's the first time, guys, this thing that happened, man, and then Jules posed a question he can't answer, right? And will that stop them, Mr. Chairman? No, it will continue to happen because that's how they get money. The amount of money laundering that is happening in this country when they penalize the little poor Belizean where they get $200 from their loved ones and their loved ones from abroad, they come and then they track them down. They want to know what they will do with that money and which bill they will pay with that money. And you don't get 200 last week and you don't get all your amount of money. You cannot get no more until next month. All these things, this same fool from the central bank impose on the Western Union and on the MoneyGram. These are all impose penalties to these
Illegal,
spenders.
illegal and unconstitutional.
And look at what only $200 where the loved ones are saying only $500, only $1,000. These are the petty little amount of little money. Then they penalize the poor Belizean with when
Mr.
the
Wade, that's why
mobsters out there, they run. You see how much cigarette gun and how much you worth in US currency? You see how much gasoline they pass? You see how much beans they go over the country? You see how much corn they go over the country? You see how much rice they go over the country?
how much
You see how much cattle they go over the country, man? All illegal activities.
all in the millions of dollars.
The other day they caught a commander of the Belize Defense Force not too long ago with $30,000 live cash in his house at Price Barracks. A commander of the Belize Defense Force. In my days, that thing not happened. But that's to show you the level of corruption. Where it's not, if you don't forget, that's just a little wrench that they push in there. And then they gone out and they find the next officer from the BDF with all the clothes, all the equipment, all the boots, the shirt, the pants that belongs to the soldiers. That's why they don't have none. And these same fools that they caught, they're right in the system again. They're right in the system again. Why they like them? Because they know how to do corruption, illegal activities to help the minister. Huh? Then a loyal PUP, then a loyal UDP, all a bunch of criminals. Right? Then who suffers? The little man. The little man suffers. Right? Where is justice? But yet, they love the Belizean people. They love voodoo and everybody for win.
But the Constitution says they're not supposed to do those things, Mr. Wade.
I'm telling you, right? This two-party system we have here, they have one head and one mission, is to destroy this country. Get rich. They come from nothing get rich with themselves, their family, their friends, and their close associates. And they don't care who know, because why? They have the judges, they have the man from Central Bank, they have all the judiciary system. You see what happen? Them when they come in, they put these people in place in these seats to serve them. Every entity in this,
contract. They don't serve them.
right? They are there. They bring in their own gangsters, female and male gangsters, set them up so that they cover up their corruptive activity, right? Who doesn't know that? Which fool doesn't know that? But yet, like I say, I talk with a passion because I say all the time it's the poor people. The small man get it. When they bust the damn immigration department, who then carry? One clerk. One clerk where they make what, $150 a week? That's the one that big thing, you know. The minister gone. The CEO gone. The head of then gone. When I say gone, they put in another spot. Right? Sad. This whole country is in a mess. Right? And until this two-party system is no more in this country, until there no more, we will continue on this pattern. We will, oh yeah, we talk about it, we talk, yeah, but at least we man enough to talk about the ills and show it with no fear, right? Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Reed.
Sorry about that, because too much. Enough is enough.
Thank you, Mr. Reed, and you hit a nail on the button when it comes to immigration. I have always said on the show, the blame is on we the people who has not enforced that our government fully implement UNCAP.
And Mr. Chairman, please give me one more minute. Let me finish this.
Go ahead.
One more minute. Let me finish this, Mr. Chairman. One more minute. You know who, again, the little man Leonard that they come with a little pack of bread from across the border, one little 6-pack of beer for when they come home, go chill out and watch the news or watch something, one little quarter liquor, one money, you know. Then that it, people with them, fine tooth comb when the vehicle pass through the custom check, when the millions of packages of cigarettes done gone. And all the things they take away, Mr. Chairman, it's right there, and after the shift, they share it up. Oh, there, Mr. You care this, and PC this, Mr. That, immigration this, and Mr. Boss, immigration, boss, this, and four. Split it down and no, carry it home. Take away the Lehman 6-pack of beer. I see it happen. Back to you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Well said. But as I was mentioned, because we have not enforced that our government fully implement UNCAP, this is what is happening. And you mentioned about immigration. I have always said you have to start from the top to the bottom. Tonight, I will prove it to you, the people at home and abroad, how these people telling themselves and how the implementation works in this system. Tonight I have the opportunity to listen to the news. And Mr. Vasquez in the beef this morning was asking a question about the bus that happened with the immigration stamps and stuff. I want you to listen.
Before you do that one, can I just add something on what we had just discussed before you transition?
Go ahead,
Because
sir.
this one that you're bringing up, I want to get out of it too. But I'm just want to close off by reading one part of the Constitution, right? The Constitution of Belize, Section 27 and Section 28. 27 reads as follows: a citizen of Belize by birth or descent who acquires the citizenship of any other country may, if the laws of the other country so permit, and at his option, retain his citizenship of Belize. 28 says, the National Assembly may make provisions not inconsistent with this part in respect of citizenship, including provisions for the following. Paragraph A, the acquisition of citizenship of Belize by persons who are not eligible or who are no longer eligible to become citizens of Belize under this part. And it has some additional reading there, but I don't want to go into those because I don't want to extend just for a short time. But I wanted to make a quick commentary on that, and that is that, yes, the legislator is empowered to make rules to determine who they bring into the country and not bring into the country, with the exception of Guatemalans who claim our country. They are prohibited from making any rules or legislation to foster those people in our country and to have those people come into our country and outnumber us and take over our country just by voting in mass numbers against the local population. The worst offending part of this craziness that the legislator takes these powers of lawmaking and do is to make laws to bring in people because then they get some money from the United Nations to house those people. And by housing those people and taking that money, what they're doing is selling out our country lock, stock, and barrel. Because at the end of the day, those new people that they are bringing in so much numbers outnumber our population currently, and their children and offspring will continue to outnumber and vote for themselves, put themselves up for election as they did in Toledo East and other places, and eventually run and control the country. So our patrimony is being stripped from us right under our face and our noses. We can't see it, we can't smell it, we can't taste it, we don't even hear or want to hear that is what's happening to us, because we don't want to believe that is what's happening to us. But I yield back, Mr. Chairman, because I asked for a small comment. And,
Thank you, Mr. Brackett. But you're right in what you're saying. And as I was saying, tonight I will prove that it starts from the top and it ends at the bottom. As I was saying, just recently they had a bus in the St. Martin's area of Belize where they had a young man who was doing immigration business. Well, Mr. Vasquez has asked a question about it, and I want you to hear what the Commissioner of Police had to say about it now. The Commissioner of Police, and you will also hear who told him to do it. Let's go to the tape.
It's something that we have to look at very, very carefully, and I heard the comments on the beef this morning, alluding to it being an immigration scandal. If a matter of fact, I've heard that narrative for quite some time. But I can say that from a police investigation standpoint, that issue has nothing to do with immigration. It so happens that it's an individual who happened to had in his possession some Asian passports, Asian national passports, and within those passports contained some Belize visas. He also had with him some immigration stamps. We have done our investigation, and it has been confirmed by the Department of Immigration that the visas in those passports are not authentic. The stamps are not authentic either. They're a replica of what immigration had. So it would appear as if this was an individual who was operating on his own. We have not unearthed any ties to anybody from immigration colluding with him. I can say that I had briefed the Prime Minister on this issue when it first occurred. And the Prime Minister's exact words was, Commissioner, please pursue the investigation to the fullest and go after who you need to go after. And the police is operating under that instructions from the Prime Minister. And we have not been able to find any link to immigration. It's just a person who was on his own accord, developed these things for his own purpose. And so to call it an immigration scandal, I think is taking it too far.
But it still uses immigration type materials, even though they're fraudulent. But the passports, the names in them, have you guys located those persons?
We have located some of. Somebody goes and make a Channel 7 logo and goes around and use that to solicit funds. You can't say it's a Channel 7. It's a Channel 7 fraud. It is somebody outside Channel 7 who would develop this logo, knowing that
People at home and abroad and gentlemen, I stopped the tape there to say this. I had asked the question once, who is policing the police? And likewise, we are working with a government who's using executive powers with no separation. Now you heard what was said, and the question was, it an immigration scandal? And you heard what the commissioner said. The Prime Minister told him to go after these people with full implementation. Now the question,
Who all are in jail right now?
who is going to go after the Commissioner of Police and the Prime Minister? And before I go to you guys, I will play the tape, because this is how people tell on themselves. This is an immigration scandal. Whether they like it or not, I will prove it tonight. I want you to listen to a tape with the Prime Minister that was played back in March of this year, 2024, and heard what he said.
These 11,000 that have applied, it doesn't mean that they are left. They're in the process that we're working on. Actually, we have sped up the process right now. When we made certain changes and in the checking of the security clearance, because the way it was set up first, our personal special branch had to go to each individual house or person to visit them where they live, and that process had taken more than 4 years. So what we're doing through Interpol, and I think there is another group from out of I'm trying to remember, but set up from El Salvador to see if you belong to any gang or anything like that. So we're going to be going through that, and I think we're looking at kids that we will automatically give it to them. They're just little kids and older people. So that's that. I can get you the latest numbers, but the numbers have increased considerably.
Is there trouble printing the cards, sir? Because we understand that. Is there trouble printing the cards? Because we understand that they may have been trouble with the machine to print these cards.
No, not that I'm aware of. We had a small.
Gentlemen and people at home and abroad, I will replay this
That is
tape
what I was referring to
because
earlier
I
tonight
want
when I
you to
said
hear
that our
where
patrimony
the
is
Prime
being
Minister
stripped out from
says
under us.
they are
That's part of the
going
evidence.
through Interpol and other measures to check the background of these people. Please listen to the tape.
These 11,000 that have applied, it doesn't mean that they are left. They're in the process that we're working on. Actually, we have sped up the process right now. When we made certain changes and in the checking of the security clearance, because the way it was set up first, our personal special branch had to go to each individual house or person to visit them where they live, and that process had taken more than 4 years. So what we're doing through Interpol, and I think there is another group from out of another from, I'm trying to remember, but set up from El Salvador to see if you belong to any gang or anything like that. So we're going to be going through that, and I think we're looking at kids that will automatically.
All right, people at home and abroad, and gentlemen, you heard that. How about if I say this? I believe they are doing no checking at all. You know why? Because of this.
I want to ask about the official complicity of the department in facilitating the movement and the regularization of illegal migrants into Belize. I have here a number of police records which were presented at the station that night in Dangriga. These are police records for persons who've only been in the country 6 weeks and have no formal status, didn't even have any documents. Someone showed up at the Dangriga police station with records. Police records are 4 of them. I want to stress that these are regular police records. We know, I have investigated this, and I know that when a migrant or someone without permanent status in Belize applies for a police record, they get a special record. That's a different kind of record. But these people had regular records from the Criminal Records Office, and even many of them without their passport number. This suggests to me that the police department at a high level is facilitating the regularization of illegal immigrants. Second, it may be facilitating persons whose labor is being exploited. This becomes an issue going into amnesty. Because if you are going into amnesty and you have a police record, somehow you get a regular police record, then you are halfway, your foot is halfway in the door, even though you only arrived here 6 weeks ago.
I do not associate myself with your comments, and somehow I believe that you are being.
We'll stop the tape right there. Because
You can get
people at
busted.
home and abroad, the damage have been done. First of all, the Prime Minister said they was using Interpol to check the background of these people and other measures. And here we find that there are no such thing been happening. 6 weeks after amnesty has been over from March of this year, 2024. The Prime Minister said they was using Interpol and other means to see if any were gangbangers. And look what happened. Just recently, Mr. Wade, I go to you first. This is what we call an Belizean affair. You tell on yourself, and this should be, in my belief, an immigration scandal, not the previous year, but this should be one. Because there's no way getting around this. I go to you, Mr. Wade.
Go ahead, Leonard.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay. It's sad, this is a repetitious cycle, right? The past government, do worse, similar, do the same thing. This one, they're very skillful in what they do, in terms of immigration activities, right? And when they do it, guys, they use all the government agencies. Everybody will be part of that corruption, right? The man stood up in the house not too long ago, like 3 years ago, and the question was asked by the opposition at the time: will these illegal immigrants will be ready to vote in the next election? The man says no, because it takes 5 years and these people would never be qualified. That's what the man said, that same man. that I says, me, Rudy Wade, says that nothing that that man says I believe. Because the man is a compulsive liar, right? The man said the other day, not too long ago, that these people, there's a process, and they will not be ready to vote in the next election, right? Sue me if you want, Mr. Man. We could play the tape. You said it. What you did the other day, you took all the people's assets, all the people's agency to your hometown, Orange Walk. How many citizenship you gave away there? How many passports you gave away there? How many social security you gave away there? How many land you gave away there? To who? To who? Mr. Man, I asked the question because I don't know. I don't know to who you gave it away to. Right? So, Mr. Chairman, the other day, the man put one man for head the one I gangster man for Orange Walk for head the immigration. Not too long here was to move from there. They move him. Scandal. What came out of that? They put somebody else. Scandal. What came out of that? That is swept under the rug. While the poor Belizean have a hard time to get one passport. Hard time to get a passport. Right? Now he not the boss of immigration, you know, that same man. Johnny Briceño, the prime minister of this country. The businessman. He have his say in immigration. That's why he could do whatever he want to do. Nobody question him, and he could speed up the process. You hear that from the mouth. We speed up the process. After I know what I want, my objective. So I have to speed up the process. Right? Why not speed up the process for the band Belizean they go try get one passport? Why do not cut the fee for the band Belizean we go get one passport? Huh? That's my question to you, Mr. Briceño. Right? So, we'll never stop, Mr. Chairman. It will never stop with this two-party system. Because they all know how to do it. They're all corrupted. Corrupted from top to bottom. Right? That's all I got to say on that. Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Wade, Mr. Brackett.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I want to read here section 29 of the Belize Constitution. And I want to go to subsection 3. And it reads as follows. No person shall be entitled under the provisions of this part to be a citizen of Belize or be granted citizenship of Belize if such persons show any allegiance to or is a citizen of a country which does not recognize the independence, sovereignty, or territorial integrity of Belize. That is to say, Guatemala and Guatemalans, who still aggress our country and its people, who are still pouring in massive numbers. Guatemala have over 15 million people, by the way. Okay? So it wasn't hard for them to flood enough people into Belize to outnumber the Creoles and the local Belizeans and Mayans and Garifuna and other mestizos. Easily done with the support of money from abroad to facilitate what they call the establishment and functions of a migrant office with new laws that apparently, according to them, supersede our Belizean constitution and allows them to regularize just about any Guatemalans or any numbers of Guatemalans as they want to do. At this point, I need to explain something that's been going on in our country now for decades. But it's now so prevalent and so well entrenched and established in our country that most people are not seeing it because it's a regularized process. But many decades ago, we used to have people from Cayo, well, not from Cayo, from Melchor and other areas in Petén Flores, who would come across the Belize at Benque and at Cayo and go to elementary school. They had buses of them. Go to elementary school,
still do that,
go to high
Leonard.
school, and then some of them will come all the way to Belize on the Novelos buses them. Okay? To come to college. And eventually when they all graduated, they all knew of each other. They were all familiar with each other. They travel on the buses going and coming to school. And then eventually they get employed by our government and by local business people who like to have the light-skinned people in their office as compared to the dark-skinned people, especially since the dark-skinned people, after a while, became a problem. When I say dark-skinned people, I mean man, woman, and children, by the way. I'm not saying just the black gangs or the black kids that belong to gangs that the system classify being a member of a gang as being a devious person, when in fact that is not true. But I will not divert into that angle. That's another angle of the whole scenario. I want to stick with the point that I was trying to clarify or explain earlier. That is that a lot of these people, they were not born Belizeans, by the way. They were born in Guatemala. They had their cedula. They have Guatemalan passport. They transit in and out of Belize freely because they grew up among us Belizeans. They live in Cayo. Some of them live in Belize. And over the years, this last part of my annual analysis of my country that I've been doing from 1971 until now, this year's analysis shows that in most of the government departments that we have right now are being headed by people who were of that category as I previously described. They were born in Guatemala proper, educated in Belize, employed in Belize, and are now part of the management system of our country, discriminating against the very Belizeans among whom they grew up and had their successes. To the point now where Guatemala has the ability to be able to have control of Belize without firing one bullet. There was a time when one minister opened up a big mouth and talked craziness that Belize only have enough bullets to fight a 1 hour fight against Guatemala, and after that we will have to yield and give in our patrimony. Guatemala has no need to fire a bullet anymore, because even though they have it in their constitution that Belize belongs to them and they will get it by reason or by force, they are getting it by reason, successfully. They have no need to use any force anymore. The game that they are playing in the Sarstoon and other parts of our borders with them is just an entrapment game to try and get us into a situation where they can justifiably say, we were the aggressors, we responded to their taunts and their beckon for military confrontation, which they expect to win. So they keep bullying us, and they will continue to bully us until someday, like the Prime Minister says, somebody gets shot. Then what then? Mr. Prime Minister, if you don't know the answer, what then? Haul your ass, get out of office, and stop block the pathway. Because while you are blocking that pathway and are pretending to be ignorant of the facts or the reality about what is it that constitutes the country of Belize, its territorial integrity and its protection, you as the highest executive member of our country's governance should be ashamed of yourself for not knowing what needs to be done if and when that scenario occurs, because occur it will. It's just a matter of time. And to have someone like you to be sitting there hobnobbing with these people, going over there and celebrating all their celebrations, and well, of course, it's a lot more than just what I need to say tonight, and I'll just leave it at that, because the analysis is not complete, but the observations and the interpretation of what is being observed carries with it many years of investigation, and now I can stipulate, as I have just did on this particular show tonight, the 224th show of the Belizean Affairs, because we're dealing with Belizean Affairs and we are found wanting. I yield back, Mr. Chairman. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. I go to you for the closing.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a minute and a half. It's always a pleasure to sit in your company, and we just hope that to our viewers and listeners that tonight shed a little light, yet another little light of the dark side of our system, right? And we always advocate for the poor and less fortunate, right? And we're about people and nation, right? So we are not no political it's not a political show, just that we advocate and we call out the ills, right? And we are not afraid to do so, right? So we call out the ills, especially in the immigration department, right? We call out the ills, we show and tell. The individual from Central Bank refuse to answer certain questions or cannot answer certain questions, right? But we show the nation that we are concerned about these things, right? And we show where better could be had, right? And we show where they shouldn't be penalizing the poor people, right? When they leave early, the big man, this country, all the people who do all the big contrabands to get away, right? When all the time is always the little man where get catch. The small man where they come, like I said, with the little case of beer from across the border, with the little 6-pack of beer, right? So these things got to stop. We deserve better, right? And on that note, I want to say thanks to our viewers and listeners who support us. And
Thank you, Mr. Wade.
Look forward for our Wednesday night program. Again, it's always a pleasure, guys. Thank you, Greg, for show and tell. Then thank you, Leonard.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. Good night to the people at home and abroad. And thank you for tuning in to this, our 224th episode of Belizean Affair. With that said, good night to you all.
We want everybody.